Do you know these men in the Bible never faced death? Can you imagine a life so extraordinary that death isn't even a part of your story? Well, there are actually men in the Bible who never faced death. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true, and these stories will leave you wondering what kind of relationship they had with God. Let's start with Enoch. In a world where everyone eventually dies, Enoch's story is different. The Bible tells us that Enoch walked faithfully with God, and because of his close relationship with God, he never experienced death. Instead, God simply took him. Imagine living so close to God that he decides to skip death altogether and just take you home. That's exactly what happened to Enoch. He didn't die, he was just no more, because God took him directly to heaven. Then there's Elijah, a man who did incredible things for God. Elijah didn't die in the traditional sense either. He didn't fall ill or get old. Instead, God took him in a powerful and dramatic way. One moment, Elijah was walking with his servant Elisha, and the next thing you know, a chariot of fire and horses appeared. And Elijah was taken up to heaven in a whirlwind. Elisha, who was watching from the ground, saw the whole thing. Elijah wasn't even allowed to experience death. He was taken up in glory, and his legacy lives on, a powerful example of God's power and sovereignty. And then there's Melchizedek, the mysterious king and priest who meets Abraham in Genesis 14. Melchizedek is another figure who seems to have no clear death recorded in the Bible. He appears suddenly, offering bread and wine to Abraham, and then vanishes from the narrative. Some believe Melchizedek's appearance and departure were intentional, to show us that his priesthood is eternal, pointing us to Christ, who has no beginning or end. Melchizedek's story is fascinating because we don't know exactly when he died or where he went, but he's never said to have faced death in the normal sense. All of these men have one thing in common. They had such an intimate relationship with God that their lives were different. They didn't just exist. They were living examples of God's sovereignty, power, and the possibility of life beyond death. These stories remind us that death doesn't have the final say in our lives. God does. When we live in a close relationship with God, He can rewrite the rules. He can choose how, when, and if we even experience death. So I want to leave you with this question. Do you think it's possible to live a life so aligned with God that He would choose to take you, just like He did with Enoch, Elijah, and Melchizedek? Let me know your thoughts below. Like, share, and follow for more powerful stories that will challenge and inspire you.